Study on the development of entrepreneurship education models based on MSME student program on students of Faculty of Economics Universitas Negeri Jakarta by Henry ERYANTO, Marsofiyati, Darma Rika SWARAMARINDA, Mayang Puspita DEVI, Novinda ELISIA, and Karina RAHMADINA. Figure 101 explains that the open unemployment rate in Indonesia is dominated by graduates with higher education. This makes labor productivity in Indonesia decline because the workforce in Indonesia is dominated by workers with low education, while those who are employed have better education. That's when unemployment occurs, where they prefer to remain silent and wait for companies to open new job vacancies. Entrepreneurship education. Attitudes are not inborn but are formed throughout the development of the individual concerned, which is influenced by internal factors, namely physiological factors, as well as external factors, in the form of experiences of situations faced by individuals, norms and values that exist in society. Entrepreneurship education model. Project-based learning-based entrepreneurship learning is a learning model that uses projects or practice activities in its implementation. This is a learning process in order to achieve competency goals, but effective cognitive or psychomotor. Explain that there is a learning model that is not only based on guidelines, such as teaching materials and applies more project activities and environmental conditions, so that students are able to adapt and develop it in entrepreneurship, if only using materials. The results obtained are only in the form of numbers without producing real creativity from the students' work. Entrepreneurial Student Program, PMW. PMW guidelines that have been set by the Director General of Higher Education, namely, the first one is by fostering entrepreneurial motivation among students. The second, building an entrepreneurial mental attitude. 3, improve proficiency and skills for students. The fourth one is provide educational and moral entrepreneurial development. Then creating a business that includes science, technology, and art. And the last one is the development of business networks. Entrepreneurship student training. Training is a part of process in which it teaches and provides references on how they can carry out their responsibilities and how they behave well and acquire knowledge they do not know. Micro, small, and medium enterprises, MSMEs. Table 2.1 criteria for micro, small, and medium enterprises. The number one is micro business that have an assets at maximum 50 million. Criteria turnover at maximum 300 million. The second one is small business that have an assets at more than 50 million until 500 million. Criteria turnover at more than 300 million until 2.5 billion. The last one is medium enterprise that have an assets at more than 500 million until 10 billion. The criteria turnover is at more than 2.5 billion until 50 billion. Table 2.2, data number of MSME in Indonesia in accordance with category. The first one is mining and quarrying, with number of SMEs 245,780. Industry and processing, with number of SMEs 3,194,461. Electricity and clean water, with number of SMEs 10,677. Construction, with number of SMEs 157,381. Wholesale and retail trade, with number of SMEs 10,226,595. Transportation with number of SMEs 2,470,080. Communication with number of SMEs 214,406. Real estate, rental business, and enterprise service with number of SMEs 790,704. Educational service with number of SMEs 172,705. Service community, social, cultural, entertainment, and other individual with number of SMEs 1,459,749. Service individual, service serving households with number of SMEs 179,474, with a total 22,513,552 SMEs. Methods. This activity is basically in the form of research and development regarding the development of an educational model for entrepreneurial student programs based on MSME internships for Faculty of Economy student, State University of Jakarta. Steps of model development. There are 10 steps. The first one is to identify instructional goals. The second one is to conduct instructional analysis. The third one is to analyze learners and context. The fourth is write performance objectives. The fifth one is develop assessment instruments. And then develop instructional strategy. The seventh, develop and selecting instructional strategy. And then to design and conduct formative evaluation of instruction. The ninth is to revise instruction. And the last one is to design and conduct summative evaluation. Conclusion. Entrepreneurship in Indonesia is currently still relatively low, where the level of entrepreneurship is in the last two of ASEAN countries. Therefore, there needs to be an encouragement for students which needs to be redeveloped in entrepreneurial education so that the students are able to have high insight. This is done to increase entrepreneurship in Indonesia and minimize unemployment in Indonesia. Bibliography. You can see it by yourself. Thank you for your attention.